It's hard to believe it's been 20 years since David Fincher's all-out assault on Generation X, Fight Club debuted. The studio Durden didn't know exactly how to market comedy, and it quickly became a huge cult film. Had they known to market it as such, it might not have been popularly known as the best movie of the 90s. For those who haven't seen the movie, first, where have you been for 20 years? Second, it's the story of two friends of his who start a secret club, one of whom he loses his mind and ends up in that club, to try to incite a little anarchy among the masses. This doesn't sound like a dark comedy, but after watching the movie, you realize how absurd the whole situation is. Fight Club, starring Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and Helena Bonham Carter, has been a hit for years. Like chemical burns. Looking back later, you'll find all sorts of fun things you might not have noticed at first. Nearly every frame in the movie has a unique, weird off. Here are just a few of them. Meet 10 Hidden Thing fans who miss Fight Club completely. Breadcrumbs are hidden in the movie before the opening credits roll. If your eyes are very sharp, you may see a warning message on your screen just before the movie starts. But unless you're a speed reader, there's no way to read the insane disclaimer printed just before the DVD version plays. But if you're reading it now, it's clear that the movie you're about to watch has his tongue firmly planted in his cheek. When we meet the narrator, played by Edward Norton, he's just another run-of-the-mill office drone. The man cannot sleep, he does not like his job very much. He's just a guy who fills the bottomless emptiness of his young adulthood with things he wants to buy from the IKEA catalog until he first meets Tyler. But is it your first time? If you're eagle-eyed and paying attention, you've probably seen Brad Pitt's Tyler Durden many times before you met him. He's a blip in 4 different frames. The narrator sees an advertisement for Bridgeworth for his suites, with Tyler standing right in front of him. One of the film's big themes is the demise of Generation X and the value of constant advertising. To demonstrate this, director David Fincher placed Starbucks cups in nearly every scene in the film. Like Where's Waldo, this handy and dandy website lets you play the game of finding cups. Oddly enough, the company had no problem with the mugs, but they didn't want their name associated with the coffee shop Tyler was blowing up. A strange slogan was on every Fight Club poster: crime, nonsense, soap. Until you see the movie, you have little to no idea what it means or how it plays out in the film's various satires. There are only a handful of scenes in the film in which Pitt and Norton make soap. But that didn't stop her from taking soap-making classes to feel better for her role, which they learned from California boutique Aunt Godmother. However, all members of this secret society have violated the club's first 2 rules. Bob doesn't follow his 6th rule either. The 6th rule: no shirt, no shoes, says Tyler. Bob has never been seen without a shirt. Meatloaf always breaks the rules, rock rebel. Considering he had the chest, there was no way the MPAA would allow Bob to fight without it. But that would have made for another twisted joke the movie threw at us. For those who don't know, the movie is based on Chuck Palahniuk's book of the same name. The protagonist who tells the story of him and Tyler has no name. The character calls himself Joe and reads his digest articles in Old Readers. For the film, the narrator's name is Jack instead. However, despite the name, he is never actually given a name in the film until the climax of Chapter 3, when Mara finally calls him by his first name. As the narrator and Tyler enjoy a night of drinks to get to know each other, he and Tyler head outside and Tyler demands that his new friend hit him as hard as possible. Aside from the slap in the ear, he really punched Brad Pitt. To control the scene and the actors' reactions, director David Fincher pulled Norton aside without telling Pitt. He told Norton to do exactly what Tyler asked him to do. As the narrator and Tyler enjoy a night of drinks to get to know each other, he and Tyler head outside and Tyler demands that his new friend hit him as hard as possible. Aside from the slap in the ear, he really punched Brad Pitt. To control the scene and the actors' reactions, director David Fincher pulled Norton aside without telling Pitt. He told Norton to do exactly what Tyler asked him to do. In the late 90s, Rosie O'Donnell had a huge following. She also had a morning talk show, which was a bit of a late-night talk show on top of her regular morning show. She is usually calm, sometimes nervous. She voiced a big no the morning her Fight Club was released. She told the audience that she had already seen the movie and hadn't been able to sleep for a week. Instead of stopping there, she told viewers the ending of the film and suggested they not watch it. It's like telling someone they would have a better understanding of their sixth sense if they knew Bruce Willis died. As Fight Club progresses, more and more disenfranchised young to middle-aged men join Tyler's little revolution. The cool thing about many Fight Club members is that they interacted with Tyler or saw him in previous scenes. It's subtle at first, but when you notice a scene where someone is arguing with a priest, and a few scenes later you see the same guy participating in a Project Mayhem antics with a few extra bruises, it's completely ridiculous and hilarious. One of the reasons Tyler Durden was credited was because the narrator suffered from insomnia. The author of the original novel, Chuck Palahniuk, also suffered from the disease. Insomnia have been incorporated into books and movies. Most importantly, find caves and power animals to evoke cool, sleepy chills. Tyler's iconic shades are used to protect the production of melatonin, which supports the sleep cycle.